How many countries still follow the principle of socialism? There are no states that have achieved communism, but there are states which exist that have established socialism as a result of a communist revolution. Socialism in most cases is the result of capitalism, assuming that it is the dominant mode of production in a specific state, being negated by communism. A socialist mode of production is one that is dominated by the working class, or by the state on behalf of the working class, and is generally put into place following a dictatorship of the proletariat, or for those not fond of heady Marxist jargon, a communist revolution. It should be noted that socialism is not the same thing as communism, even though Karl Marx never distinguished between the two terms in his texts, and that socialism is the synthetic result of the capitalism-communism contradiction, containing elements of both, as no system can ever progress in rigid stages. This not only means that the specifics of socialism vary by state, but that welfare capitalism/social democracy is not socialism regardless if it is pushed forward by socialists. This is because most who push for social democracy and welfarism only nationalize strategically, and those who do consider themselves socialists, often called democratic socialists, utilize welfarism to attain socialism and not communism. There have been many examples of socialist states throughout history, such as the USSR, Marxist-Leninists, 1922 to 1991, SFR Yugoslavia, market socialists, 1943 to 1992, Revolutionary Catalonia, 1936 to 39, syndicalists, councils in Hungary during the 50s, council communism, councils Germany in the late 1910s, and councils in Russia during the 1910s to 20s. Today there remains basically one truly socialist state. Led by a Marxist-Leninist party, Cuba is one of the last remaining socialist countries, with somewhere around 80% of industry there being owned by the state. Socialism is thus the dominant mode of production, with the surplus collected from these industries is then used to fund social services. This one is pretty controversial, as China has since the 1970s begun privatizing farms and industry at a rapid rate, and has expanded its economic influence to poorer African nations, imperialism to many. Depending on which studies you look for, China has anywhere from 30 to 50% of its workers being employed by the state, which nonetheless does not establish a dominant socialist mode of production. So while China is led by a communist party, and the People's Republic was established by a communist revolution, it has moved away and continues to move further away from socialism. There really isn't enough information on North Korea for me to say anything conclusive beyond that Juche was created as a non-Marxist socialist ideology, and in 2011 the North Korean government dropped communism as one of their stated goals.